Okay, we'll turn on the light. Okay. Come on in.
Oh, there is a light. How did you see that?
Yeah, just stay right about here. If you want, if somebody wants to borrow my flashlight, go ahead if you want to see. And I'll turn on the lights. It's like an egg.
I don't think. It's in here.
Be careful.
Okay.
What's in there? Records?
Nothing, actually. This looks like ceiling.
Oh. Is that something you're going to drop down?
I think so.
Huh?
Yeah. There's like a...
Yeah, you want to be careful, because I don't want to... I promised
through
Father
those
Bob
narrows.
that I would return Father Streitenberger in one piece. Don't want him to... There's some places where you can walk and you'll go right to the ceiling of where the courtroom that we just were. Just shut that, if you would, please.
Sure.
If you read the newspaper, recently you'll know that Licking County is planning a record center. This is a terrible, terrible place to have old records. That's where some of them are. Most of them are in the basement of the new domestic relations court. Some of them are down at the county jail. But Licking County is going to have a new record center. Everything here will be removed. We have records that are over 100 years old. If we step in here, these are partition records, Bureau of Motor Vehicle records, sale of new cars from 1937. It's partition.
Oh, okay.
Partition. What is on your mind, But these are very, very old records. And it's kind of interesting to note, in terms of a historical perspective, you know, we make every intention to be politically correct today. So many terms that were used 100 years ago, obviously, not only are they no longer used, but people would be offended. In another room over there, we used to have what was called bastardy records.
Oh.
No, I'm serious, because they were called bastardy proceedings. If a woman had a child out of wedlock, the child was called a bastard. Now today, that was the legal definition, was bastard. Now, if anyone would call somebody a bastard today, that would be what? Pejorative? That would be, that would be bad, very, very bad. Yeah. But that was the legal term. The legal expression was bastard. Okay, now, same way with people that were mentally ill. And of course, 100 years ago, many of these people actually were not mentally ill. They were senile dementia. Okay, and which people didn't know what senile dementia was, so they were mentally ill. So there were a lot of people that institutionalized that were not really mentally ill. But they called that lunacy records. They were lunatics. Okay, now if I called you a lunatic, you'd be offended today. Maybe you would have been offended 100 years ago, but that was the name, lunacy. Mm-hmm. And on bastardy, we've gone from bastardy actions to more recently paternity. The paternity actions are out. Paternity is no longer, we call it, establishing a parent-child relationship. You can't use paternity anymore, okay? Can't use paternity. When we talk about visitation rights, we don't really talk about visitation rights. We talk about parenting times or companionship rights. And so, you know, the law generally, as it evolves, it will change. And so some of the terms that we're talking about used 100 years ago, of course, people don't realize their origins. And in other words, that really was the real expression or the real term.
Right.
Okay? Which have eventually become unacceptable.
What's up in the file cabinet in the wall there?
I have no idea. I don't think that's a file cabinet.
What is it?
The hatch.
It's a hatch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a chain on it to go out and service
Oh, gotcha.
service stuff.
Go ahead, Mike. More files.
No, I'm good.
Who's got the other flashlight?
Is there another flashlight?
Oh, I thought you had one.
Oh, I asked you if you want. I got one out in my car.
Let's I'll go back there and take a look. We'll see what. I'll just pull something at random. Oh, jeez.
Document
Oh,
fall
hey.
apart.
By the way, I forgot to mention this too. This is serious. Whatever you do, don't put your hands to your eyes while you're up here.
Bird.
No, if you've touched anything, okay? If you've touched anything, keep your hands away from your face. As soon as we get down, we'll go to a restroom, and each of us needs to wash our hands very, very thoroughly. And then after you wash your hands, wash your face or clean your face off.
Okay.
Against anything that you may have touched.
Is that because of asbestos or bird feces?
No. Because of pigeons used to be a problem, okay?
Yeah.
And they stopped that problem about 12 years ago because they put special screens and safeguards, but there's still a lot of guano and stuff here, and probably rat droppings as well. This is a charge to a jury in a civil case from 1921.
You're right.
From 1921.
Wow.
Well, I don't know whether it's a civil case. Maybe it's a criminal. It's the Honorable H.W. Jewell, Judge, State of Ohio, XRL, Maple Tax Plaintiff, which is jury defendant. Charge to jury. Well, it is a civil case, I guess. This is a bastardy case. One of the issues they have to determine, you have to determine, this is the judge's instructions to jurors. Was Shashid, the defendant, an unmarried woman? That is the first issue. If you determine the issue in the affirmative, you will go to the second issue. The second issue is, was she delivered of a bastard child? If you determine that issue in the affirmative, you will go to the third and last issue. Is the defendant Cleveland Boyer the father of the child? There we go. All right, so this was a bastardy proceeding, and this was the charge to the jury. Man, I just thought of something. I may have to wash my case too. Okay, and be very careful you step, that you don't step in a hole. These are in part concrete floors. In part. In part.
Looks old and awesome. And do you have old structures like this where?
Oh yeah.
There used to be sofas. I think there's some records up here. Has some record player. The sofa was up here, and I don't know whether it's been removed or whether it's still up here. A very, very heinous, terrible murder in which the woman was actually cut. Brutal stabbing, and parts were sliced off of her.
Ooh.
Okay? And I think that this was in the early 60s. And I know there was the sofa and some other things from that murder case that was held as evidence that were brought up here, and they remained there for over 40 years. And I don't know whether it's still back there or not. I honestly don't know. Are we ready to begin our trek?
Sounds good.
I just gave you a real brief. You could probably seriously spend 8-10 hours here just looking at the old records. And again, eventually all these records